meeting to order. Welcome to the City of Laredo Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee meeting. Today is Wednesday, June 12, 2024. This meeting is being held at the Parks and Recreation Administrative Office at 2201 Piedra China, Laredo, Texas. The time is 5:46 p.m. I'd like to call this meeting to order, and we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Now I'll call the roll call in the order of the district in which you represent. Mr. Luis Ramirez.
Absent.
Absent. The mayor's appointee is vacant. District 2 is vacant. District 3, Victor Vasquez III, myself, present. District 4, Mr. Rafael Martinez.
Present.
District 5, Mr. Joe Barron, not present. District 6, Ruben Bazan.
Present.
District 7, Salvador Hernandez.
Present.
District 8, Francisco Javier Diaz.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
And I would like to call for the approval of the minutes for the meeting of April 10, 2024.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented.
There's a motion by Mr.
Martinez.
Mr. Rafael Martinez. Motion and this, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Bazan. All in favor?
Aye.
None against, motion carries. Public comments. Citizens must identify themselves to the committee chair and advise the committee chair of the intent to speak and be recognized during public comments prior to the start of the meeting. The comments should be delivered in a professional manner. No derogatory remarks will be permitted. Is there any public comments today?
No, sir.
Section 5, communications and announcements. Coach?
Okay. First of all, thank you all for being here. I think last we met, we went over a couple of things. Last we met, it was a good meeting. We discussed a lot of items. Today we have a couple of things. I know the main thing we want to talk about is the league fees that we stated that we were going to give you a report. I know Joe and Mr. Joe Aviola here will have a couple of options. We have also Ms. Nora May, which as far as the July Parks and Rec month. So we're going to have a lot of events coming up that we want the community to participate. Also, just to report that last week, all our swimming pools officially turned on, and we opened up, and along with the splash pads. But right when we're going to do that, we hit that water restriction. I know we had a lot of pushback, let's say. One of the pools that happened, you all have to set the example. So just to notify the committee of what we did, so on the splash pads, those are the ones that get more evaporation because of the heat that water flying over. So what we did, we modified the hours. Okay, instead of turning on the splash pads from 1 in the afternoon to 8 in the evening, after speaking with management and utilities, we went ahead and just opened it from 5 in the afternoon to 8 in the evening. So we cut down 4 hours, and we also, in talking to our aquatic staff, that's mainly the time where people use it more, between 5 and 8, so that we don't have the runoff water and evaporation, so that we won't use. A lot of the water is recycled, but come on, at 105 it's going to evaporate as well. So now all splash pads are now turned on from 5 in the afternoon to 8 in the evening every day except on Mondays. As for the pools we kept the same hours. We did assure everyone that we filling up the pools. We basically do it on Monday. We close the pools up because of that's when we do the maintenance. On that day, basically, what we do the maintenance, and we also refill the swimming pools, we have to put some water in there. So basically on Mondays, instead of doing, I think we got Wednesdays and Saturdays, we just made, we made it, the utility department aware that on Mondays, we're gonna be filling up the pools to get it back to their level. That's basically what we're doing them. During the week, they're told not to, unless they really need to, but other than that, we do that. And then the next thing is the parks and the fields. Now, we're only watering once a week. We met with all our crew leaders, all our crew members, and because of the restriction now, we're watering once a week. Now, haven't seen the effect of the fields yet because we got some rain last week, and they're still holding up. But just to let everybody know, and we told in the leagues as well, is that give it about another 7 to 10 days, and you're gonna see the fields and the parks are going to start taking, you can start noticing the stress probably from the heat, okay? And there, what we did, just also, and then I'll let Tommy chime in, I know he's working more with the guys there, but what we did there is, we have too many parks to figure out, if it ends in a 2, and this is a 4, you come in on Wednesday, that's too many of them. So what we did, I talked to management, and I talked to the utility director, and said, look, our department is divided, or our parks are divided by North Cruise and South Cruise. Lion is our boundary. Anything north of Lion will be watering on Wednesdays. On Saturdays. Anything south of Lion parks will be watering on Wednesdays. In the evenings at the appropriate hours, so that's the easiest for us way to track that with the water restriction that they put on in our stage 3. Okay? So I'll let Tommy, anything else I need to add to that?
No, but you pretty much said it all. The only thing is that, yes, we're working closely with our groundskeepers. We meet with our grounds crew leaders and our supervisors, at least once a month, aside from actually just all the day-to-day conversations that we have with them. And they're working closely with each other on making sure that our fields don't get hit as hard. Our trees are not gonna be hit as bad. We're hoping that everything is okay because those have drip system irrigations. So those are gonna be okay. What we worry more about is our fields, baseball, softball, soccer fields and such. So we are planning on watering by hand wherever we notice the issues at. In the mornings, early in the mornings, we do have them coming in at 6 a.m. now during these summer hours, which makes a lot of sense because we do work outside all day long. So they're working from 6 a.m. to 2:30 in the afternoon with half an hour lunch. So kind of change their schedule a little bit to favor them to be able to take advantage of the cool weather. By 6 o'clock in the morning, ya se ve. No, the sun hasn't come out, but ya se ve. So we're safe out there. But yeah, we are working with them closely to make sure that we do the best that we can with what we've got right now. And that's once a week, but we are allowed to water by hand in the mornings also. So that's how we're compensating.
I have a question,
Yes, sir.
Coach. Should we, as a committee, maybe use, because you had a great plan of doing the splash parks, use that as, hey, there's a water advisory where we just go to Plan B, which is this one, 'cause I think it's great that you're not using the splash parks. But just kind of like, that's what the playbook says, and I don't know if we have to put that into a motion, or you guys have the authority to do that, but I think it's a great idea to have it, so whenever we do have these dates where they block off when we can irrigate, when we can't. The other question I have is, I know that we usually have is it the Pony League where they have the World Series or whatever here? I would hate for the fields to look horrible and say like, hey, why are we having it here when it's stickers or what have you? So I guess what would be the plan if they are gonna come back again? Because usually in the summertime, number one, number
End of
two,
July.
would we be able to maybe deviate and get those fields, I guess, prepared for the tournament?
Okay, so actually they're not, yes, they are coming in end of July, not the big one tournament, but they are, and then we also have some tournaments in early July, and we already got some tournaments that are gonna start end of this month, in June. Yes, you're right, Rafa, I'm completely in agreement with you, is that you got teams coming right out of town, and all of a sudden you're playing in a parking lot, you know, and it's pretty rough. So I briefly spoke to Mr. Garcia, our utilities director, and he said, look, I'll take it on a case-by-case basis, okay? So in other words, we already identified it's the 3 fields at Benavides and the 8 fields at the base. Okay, we already know the fields they're gonna use. So, okay, so can we, tell me what I need to do, and of course, not water every day, but at least 3 times a week so that we can upkeep them a little bit. And of course, if we're gonna fertilize them, which we normally shock them at least 2 weeks before, we gotta water twice a day. Alright, when we put 2400, which is a strong nitrogen fertilizer, that's what's gonna make them green and look them nice. Right, it's like a shock in the pool, right? But shock in the grass. Those you really gotta water even up to 3 times a day, which we're not gonna do. But the worst thing is not to water during the day, right? I think that's what looks, the optics of that doesn't look good. But at least give us the option to water from 11 o'clock at night to 6 o'clock in the morning, put 2 cycles in there to keep it up, at least the 8 base fields and the 3 fields. So he said he would take that in a case-by-case basis, okay? No me digo que no, no me digo que sí, but I would have to write and I give you a perfect example because my wife got ticketed last week, 2 weeks ago. She's a principal at Clark Middle School. I don't know if you've been, they're building a new school right there by the mall.
Yeah.
She was complaining with UISD because her football field was horrible for the kids would practice. That's the parking lot out here looks a lot better. So they came in and they put new sod, brand new sod. And the next day, boom, they cut the water restriction. And the sod, they spent about $250,000, but you gotta water it because you know, not agarra. And she got fined, she got ticketed, and she called me, but let me talk to AR. Man, I mean, I'm gonna pull this card down here, my wife, I told her the story, and he said,
The ticketing there, is that,
UISD got the ticket.
but who gives it?
They had inspectors, utilities have inspectors go in and go check check the meters, well, no, see if the sprinklers are on. Pues también estaba regando el lunes a la tarde, I think it was the sprinklers were. So I told Michelle, first of all, you should be watering at that time. Tell you guys where we should be. So she had to write him a letter and tell him, I have to water for 15 days, but he made him change the time because of the new salt I was putting on. So I think this is the last week that she has that little grace period to do it. So that's kind of in the same, on the same idea that I would have to do when our fields
Unless
come
they wanna
out.
give us a budget to make them all artificial, I mean,
Right?
we're open to that.
Yeah, we're open to that.
So that's what I was gonna say, like, is there a possibility, like, later on, if we see, like, the fields are not getting better and they're getting worse, we can look into, like, artificial, at least for some.
Believe me, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, oh my God, you don't know how much I would need. I can work till I'm 90 if we put artificial fields, because that's a big headache for us, maintaining those fields. It's a headache, So, just to give you an idea, right now, I don't know if you're all familiar with Slaughter Field. Slaughter Field is right down the road here. The soccer / flag football / whatever field you want to think of, that thing is about as hard as this right here, all right? Always being used, always. Le podemos echar agua que venga de Roma, from Roma, whatever. We ain't gonna grow anything on there. Yet we get the complaints that we don't maintain those fields. Well, how can we maintain it when you guys don't get off of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you don't get off. So guess what? And Anita, because she's my budget, Anita, on the capital outlay that we put, can we submit our wish list? Please put that we need to turf those 3 fields at Slaughter. It's about 1 million, about 1.1 million to turf each field, so that's about $3.5 million. But the M&O, later on will pay for it, so you don't have to worry about water, you don't have to worry about manpower.
Is there any, like, water conservation, like, grant that we can, like, apply for?
Ooh.
I think that would be, like, a good way to, like, tackle it.
Yeah. Well,
Like, something like.
yeah, and I'm going back, like Las Vegas, you can't build any more parks, all the parks have to be turfed now. You can't build any pools, right, because of the water over there. But, so, I'm trying to, at least the field that we use a lot, to turf them.
Yeah.
Thank goodness thank goodness that we finally convinced the council that the sports facility, the sports complex is gonna be all turf.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Now we know why, right? Now, thank goodness that, well, why are you spending? Well, yeah, because now we don't have to worry about all that stuff. We don't have to worry about taking care of watering it. Hey, I was gonna say, you don't have to play there all day, all night. You gotta brush it once a week. We're good. So, yeah, it is a concern. Fields are gonna take the hit pretty bad. We're gonna hear it, but, you know, if the fields that are for tournament use, we're gonna try and maintain them somehow and create a special use permit or something like that. So, but yes, sir, we brought that up but it is expensive. You can kind of get an idea, it's about $1 million per field to turf it.
And I know that he's not here, I don't think he's here, but Mr. Milan can work on a public education on behalf of the parks. Seeing that people, you know, you're gonna have the ones that are calling in, obviously the kids are home, be like, hey, the splash pads, the time, or they're out there using the fields, it's just, hey, that the city is mindful of the ongoing, water issue.
Yeah.
And
I guess to put a notice out there, I mean, that's what
Yeah.
put a notice.
It's like a public.
Seth Parks is working tirelessly to making sure that the fields are upkept,
Okay, yeah.
but at the same time following the same rules that everyone else
Right,
is.
right.
Because, you're gonna have those, whether it be leaks or all those rotations and everything. Some of them, I've heard, some people didn't even know of the water. It wasn't a park question, but it was just the watering.
Right.
Some of them didn't even know. So it's just important that we get
Yeah, yeah, I think you're good point, Chairman, Mr. Chair, that get out in front of it before we start getting the calls and the hits, because that way, I think, like I tell all my staff, communicate, publicize it, let everybody know what's going on. Así lo que estamos, we don't have to get these calls or complaints about what's going on.
And it's not a Laredo thing, it's actually the South Texas thing. Talking to people in Del Rio, they've also seen us how they've been in Eagle Pass on how they've been pushing them just to conserve more water because of the extreme heat.
Right, yes, sir. And the last communication announcement that I like to do, as you all hopefully don't know, speaking of, we finally, we went into an MOU with Laredo College, okay? That was a big thing because, Laredo College has nice facilities. They have a swimming pool, they have 9 tennis courts, 9 or 10? 11.
Laredo has 9
In
plus
the
1.
main campus, they have 10, and over here they have 6. Joe?
I think it's 4, Coach.
I think it's 4.
How many tennis courts does the South Campus have? The Laredo College? Cuatro?
Right, so it's
Y
9,
el
1,
main?
and 4. 10?
10 and 4?
Right.
So they have 10 and 4, and then they have a baseball field on each campus, and a real nice softball field over there in main campus, and a pool. And now pool. So one of my biggest things is that, hey guys, there's nothing outside of town, unfortunately, that's a swimming pool. And I tell everybody related to it, because I grew up on there, we had to cross the railroad tracks to our friends to go to the swimming circular pool. So one of the things was that to get that pool ready. Well, last Tuesday, we had, I guess we want to call it a ribbon cutting, and we finally, now the pool is open to the public. It's manned by Parks and Rec staff. Same hours, 2 to 8. LC students and staff or faculty can go in for free with an ID. So it's a win-win situation for them. And look, now we got a complex without having to spend probably $3.5 million just to build a pool. That now we can, so that's what we're trying to look at, to use other facilities that, hey, let's do MOUs, so that we don't have to build, let's use what they have right now. So now we're gonna use the fields for some leagues, God willing. We're gonna be hosting some tournaments.
They have nice fields, though.
Yeah, lo dejaron caer un poquito. Once the baseball program and softball program diminished, the fields got, so they need some work. We're working together with them. And the last thing I want to thank Anita, because Anita got to grab the bull by the horn on this one, is we have our TAMU tennis complex that's coming up that should be opening in, well, it's city TAMU, but the city was sponsored. City's paid for the TAMU courts, and there's 18 of them, right? Is that correct?
19.
I'll let you talk a little bit about that one.
So the tennis courts are almost complete. It took some time to get them done. The contract allows for 9 courts for the city, 9 courts for the university, so that's 18. And it's a joint use. They're gonna be managing it. Hopefully that opens up, they get the final completion from Texas A&M system. It has to be released by them. So our engineering department has already approved the courts, the construction of. Texas A&M will hopefully approve them on the 18th, and then they need to turn around and hire staff. So they're hiring student workers from the university to actually work it. Texas A&M will be running and managing the facility, but the city will have the ability to use half those courts, and they will be open all day long. They have their staff that's gonna actually be there during the hottest part of the day, which is interesting. But it'll be available to the public for tournaments, for events.
An individual use as well? People
Oh,
just wanna go out
absolutely.
there and practice.
The only thing that they're doing is they're mirroring what the City of Laredo ordinance states, and that is for a use of the tennis courts per hour. Our ordinance, well, we've run them, that the use for the court is per hour. If we reserve courts, it's for an hour. So, and the ordinance allows for a fee, I believe it's $2 and $1. $2 for adult and $1 for youth individual under 12. They're gonna take it, $2, $3 and $2 for the university. And so they're mirroring our ordinance, and they keep all the revenues, they keep all the concessions, because we didn't wanna deal with it. You know, we'd have to have staff assigned there, and the city didn't wanna take that responsibility. And so hopefully by the time they get their staff on board, we should be able to open up early July. So real excited about that.
Congratulations.
They just need the landscaping.
I remember going to the groundbreaking. That was a
Yes,
few years ago. Was that 2 years ago?
Around there, yeah.
it was a decade ago, it feels like.
But, you know, it takes time, because I know that there was nothing like that to go on there.
And the sewer and the lift station, we needed to have a lift put in, it's the utility.
That was land originally, well, it already belonged to the university.
Correct. The Killams had already dedicated the property, so I don't know, the original concept for this, there was issues because it was going to be the original sports complex
Yes.
site. But there was a lot of land that was required for fields. And so the university at the time said, we don't want to dedicate that much property
Correct.
for sports. So, you know, we can do the tennis, but not all the fields.
Because of their expansion, they're just,
Correct, for educational purposes, so we're excited. More
and if you can,
opportunities.
of course, let everyone know within the committee, and, you know, like to make our way down there.
Yes, we'd like to have that.
Absolutely, we'd like to have an event for the opening, and we'll definitely,
Definitely, I can be
include
on with
everybody, yeah.
Briefly, Coach, how you were talking about the LC pool, when LISD took over the then Civic Center, now LISD Center, what did they do with the pool? The pool's still there, but it's no longer for public use, right?
Tommy, that's a big question.
So right now, this summer, it's under construction. What they're doing is resurfacing, replastering the entire pool. So it's closed this summer. But on a normal year, they do open it in the summers. LISD gains the revenue, but it is for the public.
Oh,
For public use.
okay.
Yes, yeah.
Well, so good thing that the Laredo College will take
Offset-
over.
offset
that offset that.
area, Yeah.
Well, that's out of town.
But at least it's a good thing for the people in that neighborhood that they have 2 pools to
Right.
choose from now. They
Yeah,
can go
they
to
do.
that one or they can go to.
Yep, they don't have to cross the tracks and come all the way over here. So those are communication announcements, Mr. Chair and the committee. I think, anything else, Tommy, or anything we need to report? I think we got everything we're gonna talk
I think
about.
we're good.
Yeah,
Thank you,
so-
Coach Tommy, and thank you. Item 6, items for discussion, possible action. Number 1, discussion possible action on fees for field and concession rental for league and for non-league tournaments.
Okay. You got a little handout, Joe?
This is just the old fees and the proposed fees that we're calculating also what we're spending with
Thank you.
manpower to get get them ready for our tournaments, which is our main concern. The tournaments that we have.
And we can? Okay, restrain. Okay, that's good. Whatever we take out from Guarita, that's Guarita, that's right. Thank you. Thank you, Joe. The yellow, okay. Yes. The food truck.
I forgot to give him all of that again. But basically, it's basically we have the old.
Do you all need copies? Everybody got one?
This is basically what we have here is the current fees. This one, and the new one is just the proposed fees. It's just like we mentioned last time. We want to have a couple of tiers basically to for the rentals. And the tier one is basically when we don't have too much problems with our rentals, with the hourly rentals. It's usually when we have problems is with the tournaments. That's when we think the deposit, what we charge for the rentals, it's basically not enough. Basically, if you calculate the manpower that it takes to get the fields ready that same day in the morning of the tournament, so we usually we have to do it right then and there, that same day. We do also have leagues in those fields, so that day of the tournament, we usually have people going in there early to fix the fields, line them up, drag them, and work on them and lay them ready for the tournaments. So if you calculate what we're spending in manpower and to get them ready, usually charging $100 per day for the whole day for the tournament use, it's basically what we want to charge.
You're pretty much losing money.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I went in and talked to a couple of the council members that also played and in this league's tournaments, and they were like, we used to pay $250, we used to play $200. I don't know why the prices are went down. This was back in 2001, 2002, 2003, somewhere there. We were charging a little bit more. And I'm like, I have no answer to tell you like why.
That's what we were trying to figure out last time, right?
Yeah.
When did the last 20 years
Yep.
did the cost go down?
Yeah, and I didn't get an answer for that because, I mean, I guess they were in a position back then. But yeah, and I also went ahead and looked into other cities, what they charge, and I think, especially for the all-day tournament, $250 per day, and that also includes the lights and the initial marking, which before it was $150 for the rental for the whole day,
For the
basically.
whole day?
Yeah, so we're increasing, or the proposal is to increase it by $100. And the deposit, which is also one of the main concerns also from our employees, because they don't care about the deposit. We're only charging $50 per field. And let's say for Benavides, which is usually the one we have the more problems, it's $150. And they're like, nah, keep it. Well, they leave all the trash behind.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah.
And
There's
we're
no
spending.
real incentive.
Yeah.
Right,
Clean up.
for them, it's a good expense, the 50
Yeah,
bucks,
basically,
for
yeah.
somebody else to take care of it.
So now it's like, I wanted to go ahead and put 50% of what the actual cost of renting the fields, which is usually, if you rent the 3 fields, it's gonna be, it's $750. $750, then you're gonna pay $375.
$375.
Yeah, I mean, at least,
Yeah,
you're gonna think twice about it, you're gonna make sure you get it cleaned up after the tournament, not just, I don't care. So that's one of the proposals. The other one, the complex rate, it's basically, had to leave it at same price at $750, because that usually comes with the base fields. We in the old contract, it was $500, which was a little bit better for the base fields. It's 8 fields. And it's basically helping them save some money for the tournaments. But if I leave it cheaper than that, then why are you charging me? I just want to play for the complex rate. And
Yeah, it's gonna be-
yeah. Basically, that's why I had to leave it at $750. But yeah, it's just also the main concern is the deposit. That was my main concern. Also that we were charging really cheap for day tournaments or. So this,
Yeah, I agree with you with the deposit, because for example, I rented the Bartlett pool before they opened to the public for my kid's birthday party. And they charged me about, it was a 3-hour use, they charged me about $504 or whatever. And then they told me, if you leave it in a good condition, you'll get your deposit back, which is like $60. But I can very easily see why people would say, for $60, don't clean it, just keep it.
yeah,
So
and that's
it's
also a main
when we
concern.
come back to the manpower thing, yeah, it ends up being more expensive.
especially when you're spending 4 hours, 5 hours just cleaning up the mess, 'cause it is, sometimes it is a mess.
It gets really tedious, time consuming for our staff to go in there after each day of each tournament to clean up. Let's say, for example, we are scheduled to go mark the field on a Sunday after a Saturday tournament, because it's gonna be a 2-day tournament. Well, we spend a lot of time picking up trash and not enough time doing what we should be doing, which is lining the fields and making them look sharp.
Right.
You know, so, Joe came up with this formula and of course, did some homework on it, so, we're believing, we're hoping that it's gonna be something that's gonna be impactful, that is gonna be positive for us in the long run.
And it should be supportive, Coach, because any other business you go, whether you rent a hotel room, whether you rent a car, they want their deposit up front. All right, then how you leave it, all right, then we'll give you back. Hotels, car rentals will charge you by day, right, a certain fee. And you don't, you break something, you don't leave it up to their standards, that gets kept.
Yeah.
And, the same thing here. All while if you can make $1 off of it, yes, it's here to, obviously our goal is to provide a service, but at the same time, it's, not let the department go bankrupt either
Right.
while doing it. Yeah.
And also from what I've seen in the tournaments, because I've gone to tournaments just to go and be inspecting or the tournaments how it goes and just supervising basically. We have teams, tournaments are being charged at $300 per team. The minimum teams that they have, it's 15 to 16 teams. So you're already having $4,500, $4,800 there. Just in the teams. Usually what they give out, for prizes, they give out bats. Then the concession, which is, right now we're charging at least 150. I think it could even be higher. I've seen the money they make, and it's minimum what they're charging basically.
So you guys are looking?
No, right now, like we mentioned last time, remember we mentioned last time that now for the league, we're letting non-profit organizations, use it, the concession, use it for like the Sinaloa baseball, Sinaloa cheers. I've seen what they make in a week, in a day tournament. They went and they sold around $2,000 just in one day, over $2,000.
But
And when we're charging 100, it's like,
when
it's profit.
when they rent these tournaments, when they schedule these tournaments, do they decide who can be on the concession? Or the
They
city
usually
decides?
rent the concession and they usually rent themselves, or they have someone rent it for them.
Oh, okay.
But it's a profit, it's for them.
But there's no deposit for that.
Once they
There's
pay
no
that
problem
fee, once they pay this fee, they can do that. They can run it themselves, or they can select an organization to run it as well.
And that's a good idea, what you mentioned, I didn't think of it, the deposit also for the concession.
Yeah, because it's food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they're gonna be all
Well,
day, they're gonna be there all day,
On these tournaments, do they charge people to go see them, or they just charge the teams to go? Is there like a ticket sale, or?
They don't usually have a ticket sale, but they could, once they rent it, it's private, it's a private.
So I was just thinking like a little extra money for Parks and Rec is a little
No, normally they just,
ticket fee, a little Parks and
normally-
Rec fee, $1. Every ticket sale, like.
And parking too.
And parking.
so this is what they do, just to kind of give you, this is kind of when I had my academy. So if you go to a complex, right, if you go to a complex, and they can't control the you can't control the point of entry to charge, so they'll charge the team $350 to play, and $150 spectator fee. All right, so they won't charge. They'll charge for the people that come. We're gonna charge you $150 for the spectator fee. If they can charge, then they'll only charge $350 for the team, but we're gonna get the people at the gate. Depends if there's a ticket for to get in.
There's no losing there.
No. So they'll say, yeah, they're not charging the people, no, but they're getting charged to the team. The team is getting a spectator fee. It's gonna get charged a spectator fee.
So you do like 150 divided by so
One-
many
yeah.
players or whatever, by so many players, like if, hey, your
Yeah.
team's gonna be playing. at
For every
these-
player you charge $15 for the
Yeah.
team. You got 10 players on the team, so you get a spectator fee.
Yeah.
So that's what they do.
I have a, not much of a concern, but, just to kind of clarify, so if it's $250 per field, including lights, that, and comparing it to tier one, which is $30 per field without lights, at tier two, it goes down to $16.60 an hour, prorating it.
Correct.
Is that still profitable?
That's what it's been in the past. It's still profitable, but it's just, we don't wanna have any somebody going against it, basically. Understand that?
But I think like
Right.
with the
Yeah.
price of everything and especially the manpower
Yeah.
electricity's got up. It's kind of like, it's cost of living.
Yeah, and I saw that, the
Increase,
only
like-
thing, I saw that too. The only thing is, usually we don't have people renting it by the hour, honestly, like, it's
It's usually
minimal.
all day.
It's all day, it's a tournament. Usually what we have is tournaments. And people, when they rent it for an hour sometimes. It's just sort of for practice. But we don't have,
But those 250, I know it was 150 before.
Yeah.
It was 250. The 250 will cover
at least
for
for the
us.
manpower, we're making minimal profit, but at least for the manpower, you
for
know.
the 15 hours
Yeah.
that they rented for.
With the water situation now, let's say like someone like destroys the field just by how they like land on it, not even like just the trash, does that also count in the deposit? So not only the trash, but also the condition that they leave the field.
It's the condition, the field is gonna,
You see what I mean? Cause it's gonna be more expensive like down the
Did I
line.
say that
Yeah.
I'm playing in a tournament and I get upset and I throw the pitchers mound, I throw it like, I start tearing up the field.
Yeah, no, if things get broken, that's totally different. That's
Okay.
separate and apart.
yeah.
Yeah, we can approach that
Or amend
with
the
criminal charges or whatever the case, you know, like on a case-by-case basis. If somebody decides to push a gate open or pull a gate and break it from its weld, or throw a pitcher's mound and, you know, break the pitcher's mound, well, those pitcher's mounds cost us a few $1,000s each. So then we're gonna approach it to where we need that recovered.
Is that,
We need that
is that
much.
in the contract?
No, it isn't, no, what language are you to put?
Yeah, as long as, you know.
Any
before
damage
they-
occurred?
Yeah, before they actually use the field, kind of do like a run around and say, hey, this is the condition that we're giving it to you. We expect it the same way. And if there's anything that we notice is different, you know,
Then,
maybe
yeah.
we'll go back.
I think that's like, you do it for a rental for it, like,
Yeah.
pitcher's mound's there,
That makes a lot of sense.
everything's intact.
That makes a lot of sense.
All of a sudden,
Luckily,
we're missing first base, what happened? Well, when I got here, it was gone.
that happens more often than not.
That happens.
It was like, oh my God, you're more out.
That happened more than,
And that's why we don't have the
Bases,
park
all of a
open-
sudden,
open-
we left you bases here
Yeah.
for the tournament, and now they're gone. So
Yeah.
that happens more often. The pitcher's mound being broken, that's just wear and tear.
Yeah.
Normally, wear and tear. And really, we haven't seen a lot of major vandalism like that. So we've been okay, we've been lucky in other words. But I think we should place it in
Just have some language to cover
the verbiage, yes.
Or because even the bases, like just the set of bases.
Eso sí.
It's $500, like just the set of
Eso
bases.
sí. The bases,
They
that
come in
happens.
fours, they don't come in threes. They come in fours.
Yeah, but people-
So you just need for us to make a motion to.
See, no, and I do have the support, a couple of council members, they were like, no, we'll support it, I'm like, oh,
I did want to ask that if you guys have a smear thought that if you're gonna get a pushback on.
maybe by the people that rent it, because the main thing is usually the same people that are doing the tournaments.
But yes,
Overall, it's a matter of getting
Getting used
used to it.
Yeah.
I think, like anything else, you'll hear that pushback, but, you know, just explaining is like, hey, you know what, there's a cost to run this.
Is there any cost analysis that you might have to show when you go to council and prove that? Is there the cost of just running one field? Just a simple.
we can break it down to
Yeah.
lights, like how much light how much we use per day, the cost of customers of lighting, personnel, painting of the field, the striping and the conditioner and all that stuff. So we can have it, put a little pen.
Basic line items about what is it that it takes
Yeah.
and the amount of money that it's costing the taxpayers, right? And just to.
To maintain that one
Yeah,
field.
exactly. And be able to, for the people that are actually using it, right, you want for them to pay their fair share.
And again, we're not here to make money, we just gotta get some cost recovery, some kind of cost recovery.
Yeah,
Make-
it's at least break even.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what we're
And
trying
then
to
you can keep it too.
So, and I really think that they're going, shy on the prices on what you guys are charging to what it is and what you're trying to accomplish. I think that if I'm not, misspoken, like, we should ump it a little bit more, where we just,
Have the deposit for the whole year right now.
I thought of it too. Yeah, I also thought it was like a little on
I
the
think
lower
we
side.
would do-
However, knowing that we're not supposed to be making profit, it's just to cover the costs, I said,
okay.
But I did have that same concern.
But this was also, y'all are taking an initiative.
Now, I'm sorry, now this is per day. Okay, the tournaments usually are 2 days.
Yeah.
This is just like a per day, so that means that.
750 times 2, if you're at the complex, it's
Right,
750
right,
times
that's
2.
per day.
Usually calculated, because usually when it's a 2-day tournament, usually it's 30 teams that come in. That's why, usually when it's a 1 day, it's a 15 team tournament. Calculated, they're still making
Let's also-
4,500.
Be mindful that this has been going on for what, 20 years? That same
Yeah,
process.
yeah.
And this is gonna be a big change for all the regular folks. And then this is gonna eliminate the ones that, you know, are not serious about it and keep so it's gonna narrow the customer base in a sense, and who's serious, who's not.
We can come back and revisit it again 2 years later.
Yeah, and then in 2,
I'll
3
be-
years.
yeah.
Perfect.
Let's try it out for a year or two.
At any time, we can go back and revisit it again.
Exactly that. That way you're able to see, look, people are paying, these are the people that are serious, and come back. And I think 2 to 3 years is perfect, because in 2 to 3 years, I mean, you see a big difference also in the gas pump, in the electric bills, the water bill.
The water bills.
So, you know, being mindful is that, hey, you know, take it out. Mind you, it has been fixed for 20 years, so. You know,
Like I said,
let's get it.
hopefully this can change the mindset of
Yeah.
the team
What's-
coordinator.
What's gonna shock me is that it wasn't a gradual increase. It's not like we're gonna increase it 2% every year.
Yeah.
When it's, we changed it from 150 to 250 just overnight. And that's what's probably gonna shock people, as opposed to doing it gradually,
Yeah.
but, we gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little shock.
Yeah.
Especially with the deposit, and that's where I wanted to make a point, basically, because, like I said,
Biggest
that's
splash.
the main thing. It's-
So this is a recommendation that you bring to us, then our decision, and then you will present it as a
To council.
department to council.
It has to
and
go as a
see-
council
yeah,
amendment.
And then now, if
Ordinance.
council can then either decide to, raise it, or ultimately, lower it, right, in a sense?
And like I mentioned, we do have a couple of council members that are willing to explain why we're trying to increase it to the other council members, they're willing to,
Yeah,
and explain to them
It's
about
not up to-
the manpower and
Right.
people having to work on Sundays.
But I think they're cognizant enough to know
Yeah.
that $100 increase for the whole day isn't,
Yeah.
it's not gonna bring it back.
And Coach said, I mean, most of these tournaments are Saturday and Sunday. Everybody has the mindset that the city doesn't work Saturday and Sunday. These guys are out, your team.
They will not work with Parks and Rec.
Yeah, no, and your team's out
We're
there
getting
Saturday and
into
Sunday.
overtime.
Monday?
Overtime.
I just wanted
The
to,
overtime, yeah, like, is that also an ask?
And then, obviously, we're having to pay overtime and some employees.
And as long as the fee, number one, I think it's more than reasonable. Number two, like it was mentioned, we could look at it 2-3 years down the road and make any increases, but I would like to make a motion that we accept the proposal by Parks and Rec.
I'll second.
There's a motion by Mr. Martinez and a second by Mr. Rosan. All in favor of approving the athletic field rental proposal as presented by the department?
Aye.
Any against? None? Motion carries. Let's pass. 20 years in the making.
Good job, everybody, thank you.
We're not gonna get the pens like when the president signs, everyone gets a pen.
What's the mayor's
That's right, everyone's gonna go take some vacation.
What's the mayor and his wife? Staff reports, Number one, July events, Parks and Recreation Month.
Okay,
Here we are.
Mr. Chair and committee, we have Nora May, our recreation superintendent here in attendance, so I think you have a pin drive. Joe, you wanna set this up? Yes, I put Joe's here.
He's gone. I think the leagues are calling me.
You got it?
Ya está cobrando.
The new prices.
Wait. It's just, we just have to, el keyboard no es para ponerle el pad.
Ah, no lo tiene.
No, se durmió.
Se durmió. Is it right?
But he's on supervising the league, the adult league during the week, so I go supervise right now, and they're calling me, hey. No, pues nomás espera, no, ahí vengas. He's always, hey, préndalos aquí, préndalos allá, ahí, préndalos.
That's why I get the clapper, man. From here, you can turn them on from here.
Ahí está.
And you're gonna open the, just be right.
Sí.
¿Cuál entonces?
July. Sí, hombre, sí.
I'm gonna open them.
They used to have their own.
Don't go there, because they have that one.
Yeah, 'cause
You're all gonna have a schedule, a calendar?
Yes, we have a calendar here, July calendar.
that's why
Entonces eso lo vamos a usar. ¿Qué hiciste?
you go to these complexes and
It's right after the blue tab.
not see this. Once you
Parks and Rec month is the month of July, where we celebrate different events. This year's theme is Where You Belong. So we kind of are doing several events to cover a lot of the community. So it's youth, it's seniors, it's special needs. So we're doing a little bit for everybody, and pets.
Pets also.
We're also doing pets.
I saw that.
So, yes, the proclamation is gonna be in June on the 28th, it's Friday. You're all gonna get the invitation to attend, it's gonna be at Independence Park. Can I say it? Oh, yes. Independence Park, it was chosen by our newspaper as Viewers' Choice Award for the best park in Laredo for this year, and it won versus North Central, it's always North Central, so this year is Independence Park, and it's gonna be announced that same weekend. So we'll be able to talk about it there.
And this is the 28th, where's it gonna be? At
Independence Health Park.
At 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
You'll get the invitation.
It's a Friday, it's a Friday.
It's a Friday. PIO is, we had a meeting today, and they're gonna be sending the invitations out. Starting with our July 1 to 7, was our first event is July 4th, Thursday at Independence Park. We got a little bit more detail. We're gonna be putting a flyer out every week with all the events, because it's a lot of events, to be able to promote it. So it's gonna be promoted. We also met with PIO, the way, that's how we're gonna promote, and they're gonna help us with that. So we have July 4th, big event for many, many years. Independence Park, fireworks, games, watermelon eating contest. It's a really nice event.
What are the hours for that one?
Coach, I've got it here, I'm sorry.
I don't know if they finished the flyer. I think it starts at 2 or 4.
I think it is.
Yeah. So we do the games and all that. We also have a live band. That day, the Palacio Brothers, they sang last year and it was really, really good. I think it starts at...
Let me just go to my calendar here.
They're good, they played at Jalapeno for 4 hours this past week.
Yes. Well, they're a band that they play everywhere. And
Yeah.
last year, they play everything. And everybody was real happy.
They
They're like,
kind
oh,
of
where's
saved
this
us
band
because
from?
the band was stuck in Mexico, so they played like a 4-hour set.
Oh, the other band, yeah.
It was a good save by the Palacio.
Yes, but they play everything, and they have a really good band.
That's all right, it's probably from 2 to 3.
Yeah, I think
It starts at 2 o'clock.
it
Plan
starts
for
at-
it to start at 2 p.m.
Yeah, so different events. We'll have a flyer pretty soon out there.
Thank
Yeah, so on Fridays, we are having open house to showcase our rec centers, and, it's gonna be free. We'll have more details on everything later on. Saturday, we're gonna have a family summer fun day at Jovita Hidar, where we're gonna put the paddle boats and the kayaks and all that fun stuff that we do. And, we also will have adaptive swimming every Saturday from 10 to 12. On different pools. It's gonna start this month at San Miguel. The next week, July 8th through the 14th, we've got open house at a rec center, and then we have a racquetball tournament, the first racquetball tournament, and we have over 60 participants already registered. So, there's a big community of racquetball players, pet vendors, all that kind of cool stuff for the pets. We're doing it at Father Magnum, and a lot of people know that we have a really nice dog park there, so we're gonna try to showcase it there. We also have adapted swimming that Saturday at Bartlett. The next week, we're gonna have Zumba class, a free Zumba class at Divine Mercy. We partner here with the Health Department on this one. And then we have a cleanup on Wednesday with KBL, and they're gonna do like a fun thing for the kiddos with the scavenger hunt. I think they have yeah, so they can pick up different things and knock it off. It's like a bingo scavenger hunt. And something different for the kids. And then Friday, we have another Parks and Rec open house, but we also have a luncheon for staff. It's Parks and Rec month, so we want to just appreciate our hardworking staff.
What are y'all gonna, I guess, what are y'all gonna do for the staff?
Plus we're
I'm looking at management, because they should be cooking out for you all.
right, they should be cooking for us.
Yeah.
I know, right? We should be cooking for them.
Absolutely right.
We're gonna try to do a barbecue. We were shooting some ideas out of how we're gonna do it. We got a really good crew that barbecues. And they want to barbecue. They said that they're willing to barbecue, so.
If y'all need the credit union has a good bill. You all, if y'all need a barbecue place, we got like 4 or 5 different cooking stations.
Yeah, it does, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, well, that's cool. So, on Saturday, we have a summer splash bash at Sisters of Mercy Water Park. We kind of do 2 big events at the pools, one on the north and one on the south. This is the first one, this would be at the south, at the Sisters of Mercy Water Park. We also will have a pickleball tournament at our new courts, on Saturday, beginning at 9 a.m. And then we have
If I may interject real quick, I see that the pickleball, a bunch of friends that I have on social media posting that they're out there using it, so it's come to, as for what I've seen, it's being used frequently. So I commend you all for that.
The country club has so much money on a pickleball
Yeah.
court.
So-
It's surging in popularity.
Yeah, so now-
Back from the 90s.
One of the things that we want to do in our we need to start building more courts because we are getting so much demand on it.
Yeah.
Soccer or pickleball?
So I think we gotta build something in the north, probably Divine Mercy Park will be a site, that we've identified. And then central, maybe somewhere around the hillside area, and then something on the south area, so that, because over there, they're always full, and it's kind of a bit out of the way too. But everybody keeps asking for pickleball courts.
There's probably space behind the Hillside Rec Center there, right, that can be
Yeah.
utilized. And I know that in a conversation with Dr. King, he had already mentioned that he was interested in trying to bring.
No, he already held me up to it.
Yeah.
Said, hey,
Pickleball.
Yeah, he
we're gonna do it in Divine Mercy, so.
Well, tell him to come up with the money.
Yeah, no, we're gonna, let's get with her, what is the cost, it's about
About 90,000.
90,000, and then we have to do a parking lot, cause it's really, Divine Mercy Park that's a nightmare on parking, cause it's,
But
it'll probably be about
It's a
$150,000.
beautiful park, but like you said, the parking.
Yeah.
Have you seen, already, you mentioned that they're registering for the other stuff, for the
Racquetball,
racquetball.
for the
But
racquetball.
have you seen already for pickleball people?
We haven't put it out there yet. As soon as we put it out there, we should be able to get it, a good amount of people.
Okay.
So it might take 2 days, it might take 1 day, depending on the amount of people. So our our tennis pro, he takes care of the pickleball too, and he's gonna be, in front of that tournament. So,
I did want to mention that on some of our new parks that we're getting ready to develop in the south side, different areas of the city, they're smaller in real estate, in acreage, so what we had talked about doing is the possibility of a pickleball court. It's about 90,000 with no lights, then you put the parking lot and the fence, and then it goes up.
Yeah.
So, but we're trying to incorporate that because there is a strong need.
And will they all be fenced? Is that also?
Yeah, they do
They'll
have
have
to,
to be fenced. They'll
yeah,
have to be
for
fenced.
safety, right. So that's why, Las Casaneras works very well, because there's area by the creek,
mhm.
you just fence it in, it doesn't matter,
Correct.
you know, but that, it's a lot of green space.
And I know that, I'm sorry to go off topic, but I know that we have a lot of those minor parks that,
Pocket park.
the pocket parks, maybe convert those into pickleball. If you're an avid player, you'll drive to one of those and, because you already have the real estate.
That's maintenance for us. That's maintenance and maintain the little parks.
Yeah, yeah.
We had talked about maybe shutting some of those down,
Yeah, we did. Yes, we did.
instant pickleball courts.
The good thing about pickleball, it's not big, you know, it's smaller than tennis.
Yeah, it's just,
But it's growing in demand and everywhere, they play it everywhere. And it's a big competition against tennis. You ask a tennis player and they're going, nah, pickleball, boo. But it's a big growing sport. So on July 22nd, pues we're including the seniors and they're gonna have a summer bash at Sisters of Mercy Water Park in the morning, so we'll take them out and have a good fun day there.
Just so you all aware, we have 2 senior centers, Paskin Rec Center. We average about 45 a day. So we want to include them. I know the mayor is really big about including things for them. And then we have another one at La Ladriera Senior Center. That's also a big hit over there, close to 50 a day. And they're active. They go walk on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the mall. The supervisors, they do a really good job. They don't just go out there and play loteria and bingo. They got them.
and he just had something, no, I'm telling.
Yes.
Right?
They
Yeah,
do
the mayor had
a
something.
lot, they do a lot.
Yeah.
And every week they're doing something, so
Yeah.
they're really active.
2 months ago, they took them to the Max. They had a little upstairs at the Max. They had a games and they walked the trail in the Max. And wow, they didn't realize they were Laredos. So they did. So we want to keep them. We want to keep them active and not just go there and do a hangout and play loteria todo el día. So we want to make sure that they do their exercises and all that stuff. So
The one that you mentioned at La Ladriera, is that a city?
that's a city. It's a city.
Yes, there used to be a county next to
It
it,
used to be.
but ours has always been there too.
And there was 2 back to back, a city and a county,
Yes.
and they were both serving the same purposes.
Yeah.
So, era Martin contra Nixon kind of deal, kind of
That is a very.
so se peleaban uno acá, se iban para Martin, y luego se peleaban con otro, se iban para Nixon, y así estaban los
Así estaban los
seniors.
seniors también.
So, we talked to the county.
They did mirror something like that. And there was-
The county said, hey, man, we're in need of a senior center over here on Tafarias, where Northwest Boys Club is.
Oh, yeah.
We have a rec center there, and the Webb County leases it from us for something real $1 or something like that, whatever it is. So they said, you know what, let's serve that side of town. So the senior center, that was a La Ladriera that belonged to the county, they picked everything up and moved over to now the Farias Rec Center. So now
That's a nice, my daughter played volleyball in that gym, it's a beautiful.
Yeah, next to, literally across the street from the Boys Club, ahí está el senior center, right? And the same building is the rec center.
That's where they, I guess the boys club was overfilled and they played all the
Yeah,
games
yeah.
except for the playoff.
They were remodeling the Boys Club.
And I mean, I saw it, and I was like, I can't believe it's real nice, the
Yeah,
facilities
it's
there.
a nice rec center. So now the county's over there now, so those 2 are ours, the La Ladriera and the Pasco. Go ahead, Mr.
We have another open house, and that would be at El Eden, and then we have a free tennis slam also. So, that will run Friday and Saturday. And then we have the last splash party, then that was gonna be at, and I didn't put it there, but it's on your calendar. It's, ¿cómo se llama?
Yes, I mean, yes.
San
The
Miguel.
splash party and the movie.
Yes.
That's at North Central, right?
That would be at North Central. We've done these before and they're very well attended. I mean, we get a lot of people on these events, on these two
Good job.
events. We give them hot dog, we give them, their music and whatnot. So it'll be cool. They like that. And then Saturday, pues in the morning would be the adaptive, at Sisters of Mercy Water Park. So this adaptive, they close the pool and it's just for this
Special needs.
community. So they won't be with everybody, so it will be just for the adaptive people.
And for that includes all of the lazy river and the side of
The lazy river. Yeah,
nice.
Lazy River, the pool and the splash pad.
and the splash pad, yeah.
So we got a busy summer.
We got a busy month of July.
Something for everyone, BD.
Something for everybody, for all parts of
One
the
in June, we
community.
have a concert,
We also have a concert coming up, I do have a flyer
Yeah,
here.
fine. 2 concerts.
We have 2 concerts. We have the concert, no tengo el de, let me see. The first one is this Friday, and it's at Casablanca. Father's Day? It's not a concert, it's a concert for the Father's Day.
Father's Day concert.
Yeah, it's not a concert in the park, it's Father's Day
Father's Day
concert.
concert.
But it's free and we're providing the music. So that's at Casablanca. It starts entry starts at 6, the concert starts around 7. Free to the public. And then ours is the, no tengo, fíjate. How do I do it? It's Father Magnable on the 22nd.
June 22nd.
Yeah.
Father Magnable, it's 80s.
It's music to the 80s, it'll be Voodoo Vibe and Bajo Silencio. It'll start at 7, we have food, we'll have brincas for the kids, and we'll have the train there on the 22nd, also free. All these events are gonna be free to the public. So those concerts are usually
June 22nd?
June 22nd at Father Magnum,
Other than that.
7 to 10.
7 to 10. I'm gonna try to start it later because it's hot. The other ones we kinda start at 6.
The Father's Day, one is what day?
The Father's Day starts at 7 too, this Friday.
This
This Friday.
Casablanca Ballroom.
Casablanca Ballroom.
Could I mention something?
Mm-hmm.
So this past weekend was like World Running Day, and usually like a run club will sponsor that. But I think that's something that the Parks and Rec can like look into that next year.
The what?
It's called like National Running Day. It's like and it had a good turnout. There was this coffee shop called Doses. They have a run club called Loco Ilento. They had like 100 people show up, but it gets a lot of like attention, like in events like that. But it's part of like National Running Club, National Running Day.
National. What day of the year is that? Is
It
that?
fell last week on.
It was a huge running community.
Yeah.
I threw
Yeah.
a fun run. It was a 0.5K, and we still had about 150 people signed up.
It was on the 5th.
And they were actually, they got the medals and t-shirts and everything, and it was just a fun run. And we still raised a lot of money for the
And who sponsors
Shriners.
it? It was for the Shriners?
Yes.
Okay.
So it was a Santa run, but it was a fun run, again, it's 0.5K. I was the one that, sounded the air horn, and then I drove to the finish line, and somebody beat me to it. And I was in the we know where the Masonic Lodge is on McPherson? Well, it ended right where Golondrina is, just a little behind. So everybody took off around the lodge, right next to North Central Park. I got in my truck, and as soon as I'm parking, people were already arriving.
Yeah, they're already getting there.
So that was embarrassing for me, not my brightest moment, but we did raise a lot of money. And we got a lot of we got a lot of runners actually saying, hey, I know it's only for fun, but we're gonna do it anyway, we support the shrine, whatever. But yeah, there's a very, very big
Because we
running
do
community.
2 races during the year. We do the airport run.
Right.
And
It's in October.
It's in October and it's very well attended and it's a fun run. And
the big one.
it happens, I mean, they go
Qualifier, yeah.
and the guy that wins it in, nada. And we're like, okay, he's already here, we're already preparing. But, and then we do the marathon.
The marathon.
The marathon
That's in
this year is the second
This year
edition.
it's gonna be November 11th?
Yeah, we push it away.
won't be in June.
Veterans.
Yeah, so, it's a qualifier for Boston, and this year, the half marathon is a qualifier for the New York half marathon.
Oh, yeah, nice.
So-
And if you have information
for that.
Yeah,
For
it's,
that in the future that you can
Okay.
bring along and.
It's always the first week of June, but it's different because it's not like a 5K or like a marathon where like only people that like go that are like already in shape. Like it's like for everyone.
yeah, yeah. Well, the race,
So I can compete.
the airport run has a 1K where people walk and coaches walked it. I think you walked it last year too. So,
I'll send it for
and
you.
you walked
I was
it,
there.
yeah, so it's fun, it's just a walk for everybody. So it's something different. But we can definitely look into it, so
Okay.
you can, I'll give you my card so you can send me some information.
Who coordinates that one?
His name's Billy. Also, it's with Billy Hine.
Billy Hearns.
Billy
Yeah,
Herschel, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He coordinates
Junior?
it. Yeah. He's done it for the past 2 years, but le falta coordination. Like I know, like because we'll run through like Bartlett, and then like we'll like still go to like some of the streets. So like I know if there's like police presence or something like that, like it'll be more coordinated.
That's what I was gonna ask you, because y'all were running through the street,
Yeah.
right, on Jackman, but,
Yeah.
there was no
There's no,
police
like,
support at
police,
least
yeah.
or anything, so. And of course, anything that, causes traffic delays or anything like that, at least you want the motorcycle cops to come off from their duty and,
Yeah.
help,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
We can coordinate with
That sounds cool. Definitely provide the support,
Yeah.
so, yeah,
Thanks for
we'll be
fixing it.
talking, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
any questions for Ms. Ray? Oh, thank you. Well, thank you, Ms. Ray, and we'll be on the lookout for any
All these
additional
events,
material.
pass the word out. Everything will be on our website.
Everything will be on Facebook and on our webpage.
Great.
Is there any way
We'll
that
share
we
it as
can
well.
actually get the flyers, not just through the website, but through email?
Sure.
Because at the moment that you extract it from a website,
Yeah,
it gets pixelated,
yeah, yeah.
and it doesn't upload on social media properly.
So we will have our-
If you email the actual.
We will have our PIO, here in Mr. Milan, and get all these flyers
Yeah, we get the.
and email them to you all, and then you all can blast them out to some more people.
From email, it's a lot better than downloading
Right.
from the
So
website.
one of the things, Coach, I'd like to offer the marquee at the credit union on McPherson.
Okay.
To put a flyer, something simple, so we can advertise whatever
Okay.
events, and it's a high traffic
Yeah,
area.
it is.
It is.
Advertise.
All we need is just,
Three of us, that's here.
yeah, I agree, all we need is, just, I guess,
The flyer?
not the flyer, just send us, I guess a PDF or whatever.
PDF.
I don't know, not the technical guy. I'll let you know what we need, but
Yeah,
we've been doing that with some of the nonprofits, like with Life and stuff, will advertise on that marquee, and it seems to help.
yeah, yeah, there's a lot of people that drive with it.
Yeah, where were we?
Or any of the events that you all
Is that
have.
when that eagle comes out, that face of the eagle and the
Yeah, they try to
marquee?
take it away, but I'm like, no, I like the Eagles, it's my friend.
Yeah, that's good, that's gotta say hi to.
Yeah, it's my friend.
Okay, gentlemen, anything for items for next meeting that you'd like to see? We are in line to meet for July, right? Is it?
Sir, you wanted
we
to
normally skip
discuss,
July.
grant next month, the grant. No me dijo la grant, pero Chilo, and that's why.
Oh, you wanna, can you maybe get an update for next meeting? Look at Arnold with the Shiloh hike and bike trails grant?
So it's still in the planning phase.
Okay,
It's in the
but maybe we could put, just to kind of show the design, just
Okay,
maybe
yeah.
take a little layout. So we got a grant, thanks to, Mr. Ortiz just came out to Mr. Lozano at the time. We got a grant to improve the hike and bike trails at Shiloh for the walking and bicycling or whatever you want to do. It's in the design phase right now, but next meeting, whenever we meet, I'll have Mr. Ortiz or someone will come and give us kind of show you the grant, what's it gonna cover. Because as you all know, well, if you don't know, I guess the whole concept is to connect North Central Park underneath McPherson where Pollo Loco is, do that trail, go into Shiloh hike and bike trails. I'm heading west now. Right? You hit this hike and bike trails, you hit Springfield, and then do a walking trail, hike and bike trail to connect to Divine Mercy. You get it? So, and that, all that will
Without
be,
ever having to go through the public, through the,
Through the
Through the
street.
streets, not going through the
not
streets.
going to the streets. underneath McPherson, you go into the Shiloh Hike and Bike Trails, and then you go parallel of Springfield, the Springfield extension, and then you get into Divine Mercy. And you do your walking trail, whatever, and you can ride the bike all the way back to the bike trail, then you go up and down to North Central Park. So all that will be connected. That's the plan. That's what we see, foresee in the future, so. That without having to mess having to cause traffic.
Yeah, it would be awesome to get just kind of like a simple render to see what that would look like.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
Yep. So we'll show you the kind of rendering that we're looking for.
Who awarded that grant? This, Parks and Wildlife,
Texas Parks and Wildlife.
and y'all had to do a match?
We did a match, but an in-kind.
Oh.
It was an in-kind, okay, was it 70?
It's a park improvement piece.
Park improvement fees?
$70,000.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was park improvement fee, $70-some thousand that we matched it from park improvement fees that was around
And then the award was for how much?
$375.
$375. $375. So right now, a consultant is working to do the design, and then follow through with it. We'll go from there.
Well, we'll have that for the next.
We'll have that.
For the next meeting. Anything else from the committee that y'all like to see?
I will give you also an update on the sports complex. Why don't we put that? Okay? I will give you an update on the sports complex. You don't know, you'll have not maybe new members, but I'll have a nice little design and concept for the sports complex.
This is the one that's going to be on.
Buena Vista, which is over there, Cuatro Vientos Road.
Yeah.
Cuatro Vientos Road.
Yeah, I remember we discussed it.
Yep. Yeah, that's
We
really.
have hot dogs for that now.
And if there's nothing else, I'd like to move for.
Make a motion to
adjournment.
adjourn.
There's a motion, Mr. Martinez, and a second.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. None, motion carries. We're adjourned. The time is 6:57.